Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 ESL Pro Tour Europe Weekly. It's June 15th. I'm Nathanias, and we are here with the first semi-final. They do play concurrently, so if you guys are interested, I believe the other semis are being played out right now, probably on like Base Trade TV or something. I'm honestly not sure who is in the other lobby casting that match, but I think that might be Hero Marine versus the winner of Lambo and Hearthstone. But one player is about to go to the finals from this match that we are kicking off right now. On the bottom left, we have the blue Zerg player. You know him, you love him. You probably think he's too handsome to be a pro gamer. He is Reynor. And his opponent in the northeast, the red Terran. We were watching him clap some cheeks earlier. Give it up for Team Liquid's Clem. An absolutely fantastic Terran versus Zerg matchup. I could not have asked for a better series. I'm going to be honest with you. When I wake up at 7 o'clock, I know my new life is wild and crazy. I think to myself, man, I hope we get a good match in today's Cup. I hope that we get some really good back and forth series. And I think that this week's Cup's games have been a lot better than last week's. No disrespect to anybody who played before, but I love seeing us get better games as we move forward. The players improve, people figure each other out, people get into better mindsets, improve their practice. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about, seeing that growth week by week. And if you were like, Nate, yeah, you're going to do Clem versus Reynor in the semis, does that sound good? I'd be like, hell yeah. I said, hell yeah. Of course. What more could a StarCraft caster ask for? We've got the Reaper opening out of Clem, one Marine to follow up. Quick deep Orino to fix that top ramp move. And now we have a fantastic series ahead of us. Sorry guys, I'm actually just really excited to be casting this match. This is a cool one. As Clem's scout is going to go over, Reynor hides a drone so that the Reaper can't possibly know that there is a drone there waiting to take the base. So he's going to come in and do this little poke. But that does give Reynor plenty of time now to get that third base situated. Oftentimes, the Terran wants to kind of get that soft contain. Clem would actually probably be happy with just being able to get a few Ling kills if he could even muster that. But Reynor, as we all know, has become one of the top non-Korean Zerg players in StarCraft 2. Many willing to happily argue the top Zerg player, one of the top Zerg players in the world. Especially after, of course, the global finals, second place finish last year, after he took down the Finnish Zerg player in the form of Serral. They built a little bit of a rivalry almost every tournament in 2019 before the simulation started to break. We had Serral and Reynor constantly going toe-to-toe to see if Serral's dominance could even be repeated from his 2018 World Championship run, which we all remember very, very well. What an absolutely tremendous series that ended up being. So Clem and Reynor, they're the younger players of this generation, ready to take the mantle from those who've come before. And that is another reason why I am delighted to be able to see these two go up against each other in such a direct and personal way. So we do have a Raven opening out of Clem. Not super common, but I actually like it on this patch. Hellions are very good at clearing creep tumors now. So you can do a lot with Hellions, clearing creep, getting some poke damage done. The Raven not only offers you detection to kill those Widow Mines, or excuse me, to kill those creep tumors, but they also allow you, in that sense, to drop like an auto turret and just plunk, and that'll push the queens back, and then the Hellions can clear the creep. I'm also going to say that this type of opening was triple buffed, not just from that, but the queen range being nerfed as well. So because the queens are going to have a harder time poking the Raven, it should be a little bit easier for that Raven to keep itself alive. And I think one thing that pretty much every Terran player can agree on is that the creep spread is the #1 problem, really, when you're dealing with Zerg. There are very few games where a Terran player kills creep and feels like they're behind. If you can keep the Zerg creep by their bases or off your half the map, you're generally pretty happy. And a couple Lings, it looks like, maybe tried to get through here, but unfortunately found no purchase. And then, of course, the Hellions are faster than the Queens. So if you can do this little dance, there's a lot that you can do. You don't really want to get caught here by those Lings, so he steps out appropriately. But those Queens are going to have to put in overtime in terms of being able to try and deal with the fact that this Hellion harass is there, that there is some detection for the Terran player in play. With 7 range, of course, the Raven cannot fight on its own. It can only drop the auto turret, but it can only drop the turret within 1 range of itself. So the Queens have to be pretty close for the Raven to be able to use its turrets. But I even love that little poke up because it's going to grab that. And every creep tumor that gets killed is the potential for less transfuse, less creep, obviously, in general. But, you know, the loss of transfuses, the loss of the ability to inject more. And there you go. 3 creep tumors picked off in an instant. Hellions are just so much better against creep tumors because they got changed to light in the most recent patch. So they were like, man, Zerg players are still winning everything. We got to think of more shit that we can nerf. So we do have a bit of a surround here on the Hellions from the Lings. I love the support auto turret drop to try and help clear them out, since a lot of these Lings get put within 1 turret shot of dying. But now as Reynor, you see that, you're like, oh my god, I killed the Hellions. All right, let's go drop a bunch of tumors up at the front. Now, I will say it's obviously nice on the other side that Clem, by being so aggressive, has actually bought himself a pretty significant amount of time to do whatever he needs to do. He's going to finish his wall with an armory. I'm very anxious now. My hands are about to start sweating. Yeah. So, 1-1 on the way for both players. Actually, it's almost done for Clem. And with his armory timing, I actually feel pretty good about this. He should have 1 or 2 windows of opportunity to get some work done. Now, Reynor going for Hydroling Bane, very, very normal though. And I think this is one of the scary things about Reynor, is he's very good with Zergling harass, run-bys, all that jazz. You know what? Side effect of that Raven as well is it's going to be useful forever. If the Raven doesn't die, it will be useful forever. In fact, one of the things that we don't really ever get to see that I really want to see, that I hope becomes a thing one day, is I want to see like a Dorito cannon into the Lings, like a mass Ling Bane, and just hit it with a Dorito cannon. And just put all the Zerglings at like -2 armor. For anybody curious, the anti-armor missile can knock units into negative armor. Although he'll most likely use the detection to kill tumors and then the auto turret to soak any attacks from covering these. So we do have that auto turret get smacked down. Marines are ready at the edge of the creep to try and fight against these Zerglings. We have a Lurker Den coming in. Now 1-1 is about to finish. So these Lings getting a little bit of a power spike in this moment. 2-2 is very well along the way though for Clem. So it's not like he's going to be worried about upgrades at any point, which is really, really nice. So not having to deal with that is definitely going to make things easier. Actually really impressive. Clem's just building this command center out front, partially to be a bit of a bait for a run-by wall that's not microed properly, but also he's going to be able to take that 4th base very easily, very swimmingly. That 4th is crucial. What do we talk about Reynor being really good at in StarCraft? It's not just his macro, it's not just his micro, it's those run-bys. And we just haven't, it hasn't been a thing, right? It's just, no. That's one of Terran's biggest weaknesses, is that, you know, they don't have recall. Stim, you cost 20% of your health, right? For, what, 7 or so seconds, or being able to run. And that definitely does not make life easy. So, Marines are going to come forward, kill a few creep tumors with the help of that Raven. You love to see it. I love seeing Terran players use Ravens like this. But it's about to get a whole lot harder for him. There's the Lurkers. They're coming out. So you better get this party started. Now we do have another double drop going towards the bottom right. So he's trying to split the attention of Reynor a little bit. These are the high-level plays. Very difficult to pull off. But as you can see, Reynor is also... Oh, he's kind of weird with this movement, actually. It's kind of derping a little bit on him. Could kill this hatch, I think. I think he should be able to get away with a hatch kill there. Those Lings are just on patrol in the main base. Drops the auto turret to get a little bit of extra damage in and also hopefully soak some damage. If he could kill these Banelings, that would be the ace play, though. And look at this. He had these Lurkers. He had these Banes. He wasn't able to find purchase anywhere. No. How about that? He's still got to worry about these two. He could drop a bunch of Marines here. There's 3 spores at this base. I don't think they can reach the lip of that base, though. And there's the scan. Overlord dead. Creep tumors dead. Zerglings coming over and the Marines lift up. He hasn't lost these guys. They're doing very well with the control. But Clem, he's got stuff to worry about, man. He's going to need to be really good with his tanks. And I don't know if it's ghosts that are his follow-up here, but He's got 63 Marines, but we've got Lurkers, man. Lurkers and Vipers are going to be very hard to deal with in the late game if he can't get proper damage done with his bio. The first big run-by type attack is going to hit this third base. Widowmine did a good job. Tank did a good job. The bio will unload, so plenty of opportunity here, but oh, those Lurkers. 6 kills on one of them in just the first little spat. But pushing into those is only going to get more difficult because not only do the Lurkers have seismic spines, which gives them 10 range. They have 10 range on these Lurkers, but the next upgrade for them is most likely going to be those adaptive talons that allow them to burrow instantly. Baneling's going to come crashing through, and we start to see a little bit of that Reynor spice, you could say, to quote another famous Italian, a little bam coming in on that third. Now, I do really like the tank on the high ground here. Actually, I haven't really thought about this, but I think on this map, that's what I'd like to do. Unfortunately, the force that's out on the map is just going to get yoinked and boinked by those Vipers and Lurkers. So unable to really do much there. And look, he immediately brings these lings back. He knows those 2 medevacs are still there. He can see them with the Overlord. He's just waiting for him to try. He's just like, hey, try and fly out, bro. Good luck. But there is actually a tiny spot here. He could unload. This is not a terrible place, right? In this little nook. This little Tom Nook. Or you could say Nook's Cranny. So he's going to pick off a couple drones. He's just going for the hatch. He just wants to kill the hatchery, deny a production structure, deny these resources as much as he can. Unfortunately, that's a lot of lings. He had plenty of energy on the queen to hit with those transfuses. But this is just such a weird game because despite everything, I mean, Clem still has just been able to expand freely. He's just been taking bases. He's taking bases nonstop like it's going out of style. And here's... Okay, but this is where it could get tough, though. He's got to get those sieges. Good EMP. Hits 2 of the Vipers with the EMP. And now he can try to get snipes. It's really important, though, that I believe the cast range for the snipe on the Ghost is about 10 or 9, which actually lines up with the Lurker. So if the Lurker has vision of the Ghost, I'm pretty sure the Lurker can save itself. There we just had a bunch of Banelings blow up a planetary as well. So I'm talking about taking bases, but... Suddenly, he's going to have to replace this one. Still has 1 medevac chilling in the main base. This is a tough game, man. This is intense. He's got planetaries out the wazoo. I really like to see him get building armor and high-sec auto-tracking. To be honest, I'm going to tell you guys why. All right. First of all, building armor is just great versus Zerglings. Second of all, high-sec auto-tracking gives you that little bit of extra range to maybe blow up 1 wave of Banelings before they reach the planetary, if that makes sense. It's just about being able to get that first shot off. Could be the difference between the Banelings barely not making it or barely making it to your SCVs that are trying to keep that base safe. But it looks like Reynor wants to knock down this command center. Here are the Lurkers. There's that burrow. They are feeling fine. They are fantastic. And that planetary... absolutely not long for this world. And he's just using Banelings to defend, right? It's used a lot of Banelings. Actually, ooh, I really like that he has the Lurker mixed in there too. I didn't even see that one, but the Ghosts, they can't do squat versus the Banelings. They get blown to pieces. And now he's got Lurkers sieged inside of his third. We've got command centers at risk of being popped. There's still that Lurker there at this base. You got to take the time to kill that. You got to kill it. There we go. Now, this hatch is still vulnerable, so the potential to deal an equal amount of damage back is there. I mean, Clem has his really, really fresh bases still mining very happily. He's got the money coming in to stay in this. Losing the right side expansions definitely sucks, but it is not the end of the world, given the rest of what has just transpired. And this Raven's got 24 kills, so you know what? You've just been an ace player. This medevac's been here forever. If I'm those Marines, I'm very scared. Good tank fire on the Banelings, though. Damn! Beautiful snipes on the Vipers. And Clem being able to keep his forward forces alive is doing fantastic. Reynor's Lurker control has been really good, but, you know, Lurkers, they ain't stimmed bio. And now, finally, these Marines are going to be able to come out and do something. They've been... I'm waiting on you. They've been sitting there half this game up in the abyss, waiting to get dropped back in so that they could fight once more. And then go back into that medevac, and now they're going to hide in that spot for the rest of their lives again. I'm surprised we don't have a Lurker up here, by the way, though. I guess he never scouted that base was rebuilt, but he retook that pretty much instantly. Yeah, that's the auto turrets, right? 24 kills. No, goodbye. Goodbye, Raven. Ling's trying to make a move on the right side. There's a big army there. Man, Clem is just, he's in so many places. It's so hard for Reynor to actually like nuzzle up and try to work his way towards that production. There's just a giant wall of command centers everywhere. We have the fusion core coming in. I assume we're going to get ranged liberators. This is the tricky part though. He didn't get cloak for his ghosts. The lurkers can hit them and cancel the snipes. And thankfully, he has enough ghosts that it doesn't seem to be a problem. More lurkers up right on the front there though. How many lurkers are on the map still? 7? Yeah, that's scary. So these lings are like, okay, we want to get this base. No, we can't. Okay, fine. We're going to go over here. I assume Reynor's going to try and just make a bunch of banelings. He's starting to really work away at the lurker count, which is very good, though. Is he going to abduct the tanks? Or are we going to see blinding clouds? Vipers, lurkers, hydras. Oh, my. The tanks at the front have all been killed. Blinding on the back line there. He never even retook this base. He couldn't. Lings continue to flood and push Clem back towards that third base. It's wild. It's crazy. I can't believe I'm seeing a Terran take this much damage and still be in it just because he's been able to expand on the opposite direction without Reynor being able to kill more than one base at once. That's really how it feels. There you go. He gets 1 health. Okay. Well, that lurker living is huge. Oh, by the way, Liberator BT dubs. Lol KXD. Right click, forget. Shift Q, forget about it. Easy. So he got a couple drones there, but also just denied that base being able to do anything for a little while. So what is the main army composition then at the end of all of this? We've got tanks, some marines, ghosts, medevacs, presumably going into liberators. In a crazy world, maybe battle cruisers. I'm going to assume liberators though. And with this many lurkers, it's always going to be hard to push on the ground with the lurkers and banes. So you can throw the marines away and try to do the harass, which is fine. But trying to play the big macro game versus Zerg is always hard. And there he burrows the lurker there. So he's like, okay, you're not going to get through that. You're not getting through that. He clears out what was burrowed here. He's got control of this planetary again. The siege tanks have been doing a good job. I'm surprised that we haven't seen him try to go Broodlords, I guess. The Spire is the only reason I even said that. Like, that's how tunnel visioned this game has been on this Ling Bane Lurker versus Marine Tank Ghost. But he's got quite a few tanks just chilling back here, so I do like that. I mean, he's covering his tracks. He's covering his tracks. Reynor hasn't been able to get enough creep spread to actually try and do a big push. This whole entire game's a madness. Blinding clouds on the left side of the tanks. Banelings and lurkers are charging towards that planetary. He wants to blow this to hell and high water. Actually running through the planetary. Gets about 30 kills off this Ling Bane force trying to make its way over there. The lurkers do burrow in range of the PF, but they've got another one that they can try to use to protect themselves. That's a lot of lurkers though. That's a lot of, you need to cloak. You need to cloak the ghosts to be able to snipe them. You need to cloak. Yeah, see, look at that. He cancels them. If the lurkers don't have vision of the ghosts, then it's fine. But if the lurkers have vision, the range is very close. Oh, good snipes on those hydras. The rest of the forces are going to come up here now. Just Zerglings with the lurker support to flood this out is actually not a bad play. He doesn't really need the Banelings as long as those Zerglings can zone for him. And this is exactly where you want to be zoned. Right there on that planetary. He scans. He wants the siege tanks to focus fire down the lurkers, but the PF is actually contributing to this fight here in a meaningful way. 22 kills on this planetary fortress. And what an absolutely bonkers first game this has been. I'm going to lose my voice casting this match. I might not be able to cast the finals at this rate. I'm going to lose it. Unconditioned caster, I know. Just like my stomach. Oof. So what are we at now? He's at 50 lings, adding 30 more, 6 more lurkers. Advanced ballistics has just started. And these lings are going to try and move in on the third base conveniently right when these tanks unsiege, because he does want to take the right side expansion. But I think if you're Reynor, I think right now he's going to realize that he needs to get burrow. He does not have it, so he can't plant a ling under that base. I wonder if he'll start it though. I think we're about to see him start burrow. I'm kind of curious. Let's just put it on Reynor's camera for a second. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what we got. So the lurkers are coming up now. He's re-sieged the northwest expansion. You can see that the ghosts are right up front. He's kind of dancing the Vipers around. He's not willing to commit just yet while he sends those Zerglings. He kept them all over by that right side base and moves them in here. The Marines unable to stop this, and the tank's not really close enough to defend it. So the left side command center going down, that northeast command center burning down as well. And he's going to send the drones back out while he starts his Corruptors as we prepare to possibly get that GG Lord transition, or if he's just going to use the Corruptors to bully back those Liberators without having to worry about whether or not that, you know, the anti-air capabilities of Clem will be too strong. It's kind of fun watching it from one of the players' perspectives, honestly. Reynor moves so fast, too, and they actually slow it down if you're following their camera. That's not even as fast as it actually even is for him, which is just crazy to think about. These tanks trying to get in position, but you put a burger out there with no buns. And yeah, of course the Zerglings are going to feast. He's taking this base. Oh, the disrespect. The rest of the Lings flooding over. He's got the Corruptors to deal with those Liberators while the Lurkers continue to advance. And goes for the Parasitic Bomb on the Medivacs. A cute play, but he does lose all the Vipers to the Snipes. So those Ghosts are still making their value known as the Lurkers are trying to run, but one gets tagged by the Concussive Shell and then picked off. So not too shabby, not too shabby at all. Burrows that Lurker at the last second. It actually gets a couple kills. Nice job. Oh, the tenacity from Reynor with these Lurkers, despite being unable to get his creep spread pushed forward, has still just been doing a phenomenal job. And more tanks continue to die. And really, all the Corruptors tried to whiz on this base, but they get pushed back. Or I guess they stopped to kill the Medivacs, which is also a pretty good trade. But I was going to say, this is really the last vestige of economy for Clem, is this northwest expansion. The mineral patches in the top center are gone. The main is mined out completely. The natural is mined out completely as this command center gets blown up. That third base also done. GG. Reynor takes game number 1 in the start of a hectic best of 5. I'm going to get us into the next lobby as soon as possible. It's been a hell of a series so far, and we've only played one game. It's time to go to Golden Wall for map 2. All right. Holy crap. What a game. What a game that was. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That game was insane. The first map just drove me crazy. Drove me crazy. Reynor won the first game, right? My brain is fried trying to follow that first match. Oh my god. Oh my god. What a crazy game. And the bottom left of Golden Wall, we have the blue Zerg player. He is Reynor. Not unlike Jim Reynor. Keepo. In the bottom right, we have the red Terran player. He is Liquid Clem. And he's pretty fantastic. He's pretty good at the video game. A lot of people would say that his builds are not very lame. So we'll see. We'll see what he can get done here. We'll see how exactly things go. I really liked his opening in the last game, but it just didn't feel like it gave him the oomph that he needed. However, man, that map is also pretty huge now that I've seen a real pro game played on it. It felt like it was so hard for either player to actually do a ground-based assault. And if I'm being honest, usually Zerg is the race with how fast their units are and if they're spreading creep. Like, usually that's when they're able to like, go. But unfortunately, no. That map is actually so big, and the defense from Clem was actually so good. I actually can't believe that at no point in that match did I actually get to see Lings like in the main of Clem, or his natural even, really, which is just weird. If I don't know, that's just such a normal thing. Whenever I cast Reynor, I just expect it. Yeah, whenever I cast Reynor, especially versus any Terran, I just expect him to have Lings in people's bases all the time. But I guess it's been such a difficult thing for Terrans to like deal with that they've been practicing and getting better. So that's cool. It makes me happy to see a Terran player that can actually go toe-to-toe with a Titan like Reynor. This match very clearly very even. I don't know if Reynor's about to crush these next two maps and destroy Clem. But even if he did, I would still say this was an extremely close series because holy crap, that game one was just wild. That game one was just absolutely bonkers. And I want more. I want more. I'm hungry. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm also hungry in real life. If anyone wants to mail me a cheeseburger. Lettuce wrapped, of course. So the Reaper sees the third. It's kind of poking away at these Lings. Being able to kill any of them would be nice. Looks like we've got one Zergling kill. Anything that you can get without losing your units, that is extremely important. Extremely, extremely important. And the Reaper comes by once more, just kind of patrolling, perusing around. Hellions are being made. And you know, he took... Is this like a fake out? He only took one gas in his main, and he took one gas in his natural. Was this deliberate? Did he do... Did I miss something? Or was this like a weird strategy just to... Yeah, I don't know. Huh. He maybe wanted him to think that he wasn't going to go for like a battlecruiser rush or something? Hellions with the Reaper do actually slip by. He didn't add any Lings at the start, so the potential to deal some damage with even just 3 units is still pretty nice. 4 drone kills and some Lings to boot. I mean, if he gets another, oh, that would have been insane. No, he's just gonna run 2 more in. That's risky. I would not do that. So it is a Liberator instead of a Viking. It's a Liberator instead of a Viking, instead of a Raven. He's not opting to go for that style. However, having lost his Hellions, this Liberator is going to need to go for a sort of like a backstab, harass approach rather than being stuck around with those Hellions. I just don't think it's going to be able to do too much. There's not enough Hellions to really properly support the Liberator. And Reynor's got a wider angle to spread the creep this time, with the way that this map kind of breathes out into the open very naturally. There is no like ideal spot to push or attack from. Except I'd say for Terrans, maybe sometimes the bottom is not bad to go through when you get the chance. And there's the Liberator on the main. Not really able to get anything. It's going to reposition to try and grab the gas geyser drones. Gets 2 worker picks. Not bad. And going to try to hit this queen. Oh, man. Yeah, Reynor's been good control here. Good control here off that queen. I mean, I still feel like Clem got some value out of it, but nowhere near as much as he probably should have, given any other type of opponent. This is just what happens when you're playing versus the best of the best. Okay, there we go. Gets a couple more drones. That's nice. The Hellions are back out on the creep. Still looking, searching for those opportunities. He was hoping to get the last hit, the last drone on the pull. And look at this. Clem, he's just going to go straight for the gold base as his third. That's going to open up the bottom side of the map for him as well. Down the line. I do like how he's starting a little mini wall on that ramp. Because what he's really trying to do is just buy time. The Liberator buys time. The Hellions kind of carve some stuff up. We didn't see him do tremendous early game damage on the last map either, so it's not that it's impossible for him to do so. But he's going to need to have some really, really good pushes if he wants to be able to win this time. It's possibly one of the reasons why he was able to defend so well might have been that he had just put too many tanks at home. I'm trying to rationalize to myself or figure out like what Clem could have done differently in the last game. It's just so hard because you leave all that supply at every single base to deal with the run bys that aren't planetaries. And even the planetaries, they need help with the banelings and lurkers. So if you're not leaving like good amounts of supply from your army at every base, it's really hard to make those pushes work. We do have Mutalisks coming out for Reynor, so he wants to take this in a different direction. But I think with that scan, I think Clem has realized that there's no banelings at all. So he's just trying to get on top of the ones that are morphing. And oh my God, I mean, if he is able to situate himself on top of the army of Reynor with no baneling support at all, he could get devastating damage done early in this game. He's kind of being bounced between the bases, though. I do wonder if this is going to end up coming back to bite him, not pushing into the natural. A call, one baneling connects, and baby, that's all you need. So he's able to deal with the Marines now. The Hellbats are still alive, but the Lings and Banes can handle those as well. I think that Widow Mine did grab itself a Mutalisk, but I'm not going to lie. I was definitely expecting a lot more to come out of that attack. At the end of the day, he's still going to be ahead on his upgrades. He's done a really good job with his rallies. He's not concerned about getting hit there. He has the concealment buff on his mines because he finished his armory. Now, of course, with Mutalisks, there's going to be always a lot of things to worry about. Oh, careful that your Bane doesn't... Well, hey, that's another benefit of those mines being like that, right? You're not looking when you send that Overseer over, and then... Oh, random Widow Mine. Goodbye, Muta. Everybody say goodbye. All right, we have more coming on that south side. 8 Mutalisks that look like they want to try and get into the main base, stretching out the Terran army if possible. Maybe grab a cheeky add-on or two. Maybe kill some rallying Marines. I mean, he can kind of bounce between these bases, but he's got turrets. He's got mines. Unless he commits to a lot more Mutalisks, you can't really break a Terran like this with Mutas. He's going to go back to that lurker style that he went for in the first game. I don't blame him at all. It worked very well. That mine shot gets a pretty big chunk out of the force. Because the Widow Mines just don't end up being very useful against the lurkers. If they're moving around with Overseers, you have so much more range. How did those mines get there? Nobody knows. He's got 12. You just killed 12 drones. And I'm like, did he actually, though? Because Reynor's at 76. Like, he's doing way too good of a job of replenishing everything that he loses as it goes down. These Marines chasing back towards this third base. Now, the Mutalisks are being annoying, for sure. But he needs to be ready. He needs to get those lurkers out. He does have Bane speed. He's got creep. Oop, that's not how you want to lose your Widow Mine. Or excuse me, that's not how you want to lose your Queen. As this Overlord does start to take a little bit of poke-a-poke. Widow Mine gets one Baneling. That's something. There you go. It's officially cost-effective. Keep them. Oh, that mine shot not bad, though. And he gets rid of the Overseer, which is actually important since the Widow Mines are not being revealed. He did not have time to really do this full transition into lurkers at the speed at which he would have normally otherwise wanted to. He's lacking the lurker range upgrade and the burrow upgrade, so they're not going to be quite as impactful in these fights as he otherwise would be. Oh my goodness, he barely gets forced to lift up there. There is only one Mutalisk left with nary a hit point. But he's going to start to get those lurkers out, and what he needs is the hive. He has it. Okay, Nate. Well, I guess he's got everything then. Get the rest of those upgrades for the lurker. Get the 10 range upgrade. Get the burrow upgrade. Get it all. Go to town. Go to town. I'd like to see him put 2 planetaries on a base outside of each other's range, like so that banelings can't blow both up at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love that he has the widow mines defensively as well spread out. I think that's also pretty fantastic. Lurkers on the low ground. Does he have the vision he needs to constantly attack that point? No. Okay. He does go for lurker range before he gets the burrow upgrade, which is important to note. We got some Thors mixed in here too. I'm guessing he's just hoping that they'll soak, possibly against Banes. The Lings try to push through with the Banelings, but they're not able to do so. He needs to have a scan to attack. He needs a scan to attack, though. More Banelings finish morphing. They're running and gunning. Okay, the Marauders and Thors are still alive. This is not enough lurkers to stop him if he had a scan. I think he could crack this. Okay, there we go. There's the scan. There's the stand. Very spread out. Focus down the lurkers if you can. Definitely the most important things to kill. They have the greatest DPS potential. And I really like these Thors as anchors. Forces so much micro. Clem is going to tie this up 1-1. All right, let's get into the next lobby and keep moving forward. This series, freaking crazy, dog. It's all tied up here in our semi-final for the ESL Pro Tour as we are approaching the end of the weekly cup. It is June 15th. I'm live here from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, bringing you guys some StarCraft. What a series it has been so far. Hi, I'm Nathanias. I hope you're doing well. If you're just joining us, please, for the love of God, watch the first 2 games. The VOD is already up on my Twitch channel if you want to check it. Or if you're interested in checking out any of these games or other matches that I have commentated, I've been uploading regularly again to youtube.com/Nathanias. So if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want to watch Nate play Resident Evil or just watch more StarCraft, you've got plenty of that content there. I recently moved. One of the big reasons why I did that, I've got fiber internet now, 1,000 upload, which means Nathan's not going to upload the VODs. It always takes forever. Nope, it only takes me about 5 minutes to upload 20 gigs now. So thank God for that. I have actually been pretty consistent with getting the stuff up. And just so everybody knows, the VODs on YouTube are actually higher quality than the stream that you're watching right now. Twitch greatly limits the quality at which we are allowed to broadcast because they don't want to pay for better servers. But on YouTube, VODs are in 1440p, 60 FPS, and I upload them at 25,000 kilobits per second. So the quality is actually really fantastic. If you miss any of these games, you want to check them out, I implore you, hit up my YouTube. I don't know why I'm talking like it's weird that I'm plugging. We're on my own channel, but I do understand that many of you probably just here to watch the tournament, less than you are to see me. And that's okay. I understand that. So it's a bit of a pool first, not like the craziest pool first, but it's one of those gut check builds coming out of Reynor. And he's basically saying, hey man, if you're going to build 1 Reaper and then a reactor, or 1 Reaper and then a Marine, and you're not going to SCV scout me, I think I'm going to be able to bop you. And much like the Hit 90s game, it's possible that Reynor may get the knife in him and then pull it and twist it until he dies. So let's see what happens, because this Reaper's going to say, oh, once he realizes this hatch only just finished, and guess what? Your natural is now in danger. So he's just got that one Marine. He doesn't get the wall up, and this can actually still, weirdly enough, work out to the Terran's benefit. You actually just are okay with pulling SCVs. Let that Marine do it. The Zerg put their own economy behind pretty significantly to make this happen. So for Reynor, it's actually best to kind of do this weird dance where nothing happens, because that is actually more impactful than just fighting and killing a few SCVs and letting the Terran get back to work. So the Marine actually dies to the Reaper grenade, weirdly enough, denies a few more SCVs. So that factory, think about it this way. The reactor's supposed to be done at the same time. Factory's still only just barely past halfway. He starts a third command center before his natural's even ready. And I have to say, phenomenal start to this game for Reynor. And guess what? Warren de la Cucaracha, right? Is that, did I say it right? Anyway, roaches possibly about to be streaming down Clem's throat, coming to a theater near you. It is, it's a very violent horror film, you perverts. It's just basically about getting bludgeoned to death by giant cockroaches. So the Reaper tried to go in. The Queen is already there to kind of push him out. Now, Reynor's played a similar style endgame-wise in both maps thus far. Is he going to go for the same thing? Well, honestly, if you're Clem, that's kind of what you're thinking. I'll be real with you. I want to see... I'm messing with too many buttons right now. I want to see what Clem is looking at. Let's kind of take it to his perspective. So he's just thinking about getting this set up. He's getting his Hellions. But as we can see from his vision, he doesn't know that the roaches are coming. There's no bunker. He's not even looking at his natural wall. He's got the third command center done, but he's really thinking about doing that Hellion Reaper harass he was doing before. Man, his camera moves fast, doesn't it? I bet you guys are about to get dizzy, aren't you? So, as we can clearly see from that, he has absolutely no idea that these bad boys are coming, and they're coming in hot. We're going to have, how many? 8 roaches, and presumably he'll get Ravagers. He didn't get Zergling speed, so he can't flood behind it. But at no point has Clem realized what's happening at all. I know his camera moves fast, but his perspective, again, this is the first time he's seeing the roaches. So he's going to pull back a little bit, but he's only even got the one gas. So there's the bunker starting up, and now the roaches and the Ravagers are coming in for that natural. It's a bit of a swiggity smooty coming for the booty situation. And I'm not going to lie, when he sees this tech lab, oh no, he could deny stim. He could deny stim if he brings the other Ravagers up. That tech lab, oh Jesus. Oh god, oh no, oh no, no. I don't know how you're going to stop this attack. I don't know how you're going to play out the long end. The stim getting canceled like that. SCVs do get a bit of a surround on the Ravagers. He's trying to open up a pathway here. He drops mules in the face of danger, but he doesn't have stim. So really, as long as he doesn't get hurt enough to the point where the Hellions can go kill the Ravagers, he should still be fine. He is building another one, but okay, I think he stepped maybe a little bit too far forward there. He is going to be able to deny the rest of this attack. Now, Marauder does take a hit, and not a fun one. Definitely coughing hard after it. We've got the tech lab now restarting, but he lost the reactor too. So all he can do is build 3 Marines at a time, or 2 Marines and 1 Marauder at a time. And he is going to build 2 Liberators instead of Medivacs. I actually really like this idea, because what's going to end up happening is maybe send 1 to each base, because getting Medivacs right now is just not going to give him the value that he needs. His bio doesn't have stim. It's just not very good. So move the 3rd base out, because you kind of have to. Zerg is taking a 4th. You're in deep doggy doo-doo. Try to defend with your bare naked Marines, and try to do some harass with Liberators. I mean, you could also use the Liberators defensively. It's just, that's exactly what Reynor wants you to do. Like, if you're Reynor right now, you're feeling sky high. You're like, oh, the 3rd base just landed? Nice. Cool. The natural's not even fully saturated. The main base, got to pull workers off of that to try and get the rest of his barracks up, because his economy was so slowed down at the start of this map now. Multiple times. And Reynor, well, this is exactly what you expect to see. He's going for the Lings. He's getting the Banes out. Baneling speed's ready. He's going to get a Spire. If I'm Reynor, I'm feeling on top of the world. There's really only a couple of things that could hurt you. That's going to be the air game. But there's just not a whole lot there. This Overseer has the vision. He doesn't have Medevac. You can't even show him the Overseer to kill it. because he couldn't build medevacs. So it's all in the libs. Now we've got one in the northwest and one in the bottom. This is pretty much exactly what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Let's see what he can get done. Liberator A, sieges on the third. Liberator B, sieges on the main. Let's see what we got. Oh no, he's got no kills on the top, 4 kills on the bottom. I actually don't mind the idea of actually posturing to be able to also get rid of the larva in this situation. He's gonna get the queen. Nice grab in that third again, as Clem is just forcing Reynor to dance his queens around like they're the bells of the ball. And now you see, look at that, you scan, you're like, oh, that's the 4th base. It's fully saturated. Oh, there's Lings and Banes there. Well, at least Baneling speed's not done. Kappa. I think the Liberator just finally died there. So he's going to kill some creep tumors, which is nice. But doesn't have combat shield. So those Banelings will one-shot Stim Marines. And it looks like he also did lose some SCVs, so a little bit of a counterattack. I've got an armory, so I have to... I'm invisible. Nope. Unfortunately, with that Overseer there, he can actually kill these mines, too, if he gets the chance. So, man... We had 2 really close games, but Reynor absolutely just, I mean, he just smacked him, just backhanded him out of nowhere, you know? Like, it was like a sucker punch. It was a cheek claptacular play with the way that this opening somersaulted Reynor into a pretty substantial lead. Not that it's out of hand for Clem, but he's going to need to make some amazing plays if he wants to claw his way back into this. The army gets caught out in the middle. He's forced to retreat. He does have this drop, but it's just 2 mines, and they don't even have drilling claws, so 1 will detonate on a muta. So he just gets 1 muta. I think that's actually better than killing 20 Lings. For Reynor, excuse me, for Reynor. I think Raynor's happy to lose 1 muta instead of 20 Zerglings right there, considering how many he has and how much he loves to use them. Now Clem is forced to retreat once again, but no really good wall setup. And look at that. Look at the awareness. He's like, oh, Medevac's finally going home. Let me move the Overseer. I don't know. Is Reynor going to try and kill him here? It's possible. He shot his own depot. What an animal. I mean, run some Lings in. Try to bait the mine shots if you can. That's what you want to do. There you go. There's one. There is another. And look at the way he runs those Zerglings through the Marines, drags the fire over them. And we just have Bio dying left and right. There are some on the bottom right that are trying to pre-spread, but there's just too much in the face of Clem. The Lings have got the 3rd base. GG. Reynor goes up 2-1. Absolutely dominant performance in that map. Reynor gaining some steam here, it looks like. Can he be stopped? It's going to be a big question mark now, as he is just such a good Zerg player. Absolutely doing devastating amounts of damage. We're just waiting for the next lobby. All right. This could be the deciding map. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And my voice is becoming shot from how insane this series has been. It's a best of 5, so this man just needs to win one more map. Unfortunately for him, this is definitely one of the most Terran favored maps in the pool. In the bottom left, he is Reynor. Absolutely incredible young Zerg player. Very dominant in StarCraft 2 these days. His opponent in the top right, the Terran hope, he is Liquid's Clem. And what a series we've had. So he's going to go gas first barracks, which means that it's likely to be no Marine after the Reaper. So it's likely what we're going to see is a Reaper expand with a quick reactor to follow it up. Possibly for some supercharged Hellion harass to come a little bit earlier than normal. Usually the only difference between getting the gas before the barracks is just that the Terran doesn't have the time window to get the Marine while they're gaining the gas. So you can't start the factory and then the reactor after the Marine is done. It doesn't time out well enough because you get the gas too quickly. So it is a little bit more vulnerable to stuff like that build from the last game. But Reynor, it's not very good on this map. And also, Reynor's not doing that build this time, so it's not a big deal. As we have the spawning pool close to halfway done. Reaper is on the way now for Clem. And he's going to start that command center up. But typically, you'll see the reactor start immediately because he's already got enough gas for the factory halfway through, right? And it just ends up timing out like that. So you get your Hellions maybe 15, 20 seconds earlier when you do it like this. And it's pretty nice, considering that Zergs kind of have ideas in their minds of what they see happening. And the Reaper also stayed at home, so he couldn't do anything to deny the third base. Which is maybe a mistake because this is the easiest map almost ever to deny the third on. Like if you send an SCV here to scout at the start, which you don't usually do with gas first, but if you were to send like an SCV here immediately, you could pretty easily block this. There's no other third base to take. You have to go very far away no matter what direction you head if that base gets blocked, but I digress. We're back to Clem. He's got his Reaper. He's looting, scooting, and shooting and trying to get some work done here, but Big Mama Queen says, nope. Back it up. Back it up. And the Overlord, by the way, he knows. He's got an idea what's happening here. The timing of this does end up being a little bit quicker than normal, though, right? The Hellions are on the way out. The starport naturally gets to come in a little bit faster due to the earlier factory timing. What is this type of strategy good for? It doesn't really matter. You can almost do anything with this. That's kind of the power of Terran. It could be that Raven Hellion opener that we saw in game 1. It could be Banshees, which I'm not personally fond of, but they can still be very strong if used properly, since a lot of Zerg players now are still getting used to the Queen having less range than before. But I'll be biased and just say, hey, you can also go battle cruisers out of this. It isn't bad either. But the benefit of going for a Banshee here is that you're also safe against that Roach attack that happened in game 2, or game 3, excuse me. So in the last game, he did go pull first and do a little bit of Ling harass. But, I mean, what I thought sealed the deal on the game itself was the Ravager Roach hit and canceling the stim pack on a Terran that's going to go for bio, right? Like, you absolutely can't afford to have that happen to you. I wouldn't be surprised if Clem busted out Mecha on this map, just because this is also one of the best mech maps in the pool. It's very easy to do harass with units like Liberators here, and Liberators over here, outside the third or the natural. This Overlord going to the back of the main base of Clem does finally get killed. Don't think it saw anything earth-changing. You're almost always going to have Banshee defense no matter what, because the Terran wants to hit you with either mines or Banshees or battle cruisers, Liberators, what have you. So Spore Crawlers are kind of like, they're just kind of given, right? You're a Zerg player, you get a Spore at 4 minutes. It's what you do. Hashtag ad. Armory is about to finish though, so it's going to be a little bit more spicy than your average push, because he's like, oh, you don't got a Baneling Nest, dog? You ain't got a Baneling Nest? What you gonna do about these Hellbats when they come for you? And he's trying to get the Hellbats onto the Queens, which would be nice. He wants to like go for like game-ending type damage. or move the Banshee down to the third. Oh, the Spore repositioned, actually, so the Banshee can go to the third base, and I really like this now, because at this point, the Hellions are just buying time and kind of shielding. I wouldn't even mind turning one into a Hellion to chase those drones, but the Banshee was able to get a good amount of work done, it looked like, at the start. I think it did go down. No, it somehow made its way over to the Spire. I've been having a hard time keeping track of these units. Bit of a hectic attack here from Clem. But Reynor, despite not having a Baneling Nest, it seems that he's going to be okay versus this Hellbat Banshee push. But definitely a better start for our Terran than the last map, as he now transitions into Bio. He's getting his stim. He's built the third command center on location, which I would always say is very risky for a Terran to do. At the end of the day, if you get away with it, though, it is a plus. It's always nice to be able to just drop mules there and stream. Look at the Reynor. Look at this. He's like, oh, you distracted me from spreading creep. Well, I'm just going to drop it here. And my Overlord pooped by the fourth. Bruh. I need that creep spread. And he knows he needs that creep spread. So the Banshees, even with the Overseer here, the support of some Hellions, they did want to try and get some big damage done to the Queens. Instead, he's going to pull back. I love this. Oh my god. Is he going to actually try to keep his units? Is he going to try to keep his units alive this game? Pog. You rarely see Terrans do that. Hellbats trying to get some drones will not be able to. And you know what, man? Look at this worker count. Yeah, this game's gone pretty well, I think, for Clem. He's definitely been able to capitalize, because you usually feel like the Zerg kind of vaults leaps and bounds ahead of you income-wise, but he's got 3 orbitals. He's only down 10 workers, and the Zerg players' fourths coming in a little bit later than maybe they would have wanted. However, this is where things usually get hard for people who are playing versus Reynor. We got Lings in the third. Actually, the Widow Mine helps soften up quite a few of those SCVs. There are no turrets, so Reynor's able to get quite a bit of damage. And by no turrets, I mean outside of the mineral lines. So these depots are at risk. These Marines without combat shield aren't really as beefy as they're supposed to be. But another nice touch, though, when you're kind of hitting stuff like those depots, is that they can bounce off into that. Oh my god, did you see that? Look, he doesn't have any medevacs, and he just got... Did you know the Overseer got 0 supply lead? No. It's a good play. It's a good play. We don't really ever see that happen, to be honest, and I love it, though. The Banshees, hello, baby, guess who's back? Coming in for the 9-4. He's got 7 kills apiece, so those Banshees ripping and tearing into those drones. And, you know, it's really hard for Banshees to have value past the early game against Zerg, unless you're playing, like, Battle Mech versus, I don't know, Roach Ravager, maybe. You get, like, Speed Banshees. But that's typically not something that you're going to see a tremendous amount of. So Overseer comes in to check again. Lots of bio. Plenty of Marines coming out. He's going to bait the stim there. And delaying those medevacs also just hurts a little bit too, because not only did he have to heal all of his previous units, but it's going to be difficult to move out of your own base now with the amount of time that was bought. And he just comes over, gets a medevac, and dips. Well, that was flawless. And it looks like, yeah, he's gotten quite a few more mutas. I think on Golden Wall, we saw the peak, sorry, at about 8. I'm having a hard time trying to follow these mutas. There are some cheeky mines here, but they can't really reach the other side. If the mutas shoot and then scoot right back out, then yeah, there's just not a whole lot that can be done there. So some Lingbane muta from Reynor as he's trying to get the 3-1 victory and move on to the finals. I'd be pretty surprised if the other semi wasn't already over. There are a lot of Marines, though. Like, we have 54 Marines and 8 Widow Mines with 3 medevacs. So, I love that. Put the 2 mines under the Marine. He's like, yeah, go for it. Go kill me. Do we have enough Banelings to hold this, though? Bane speed. Okay, Bane speed's almost done. I was going to say, if there's no Bane speed, he's probably dead. He still has to wait 7 more seconds before Bane speed's ready. So, he might still be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, quite a few Banes get shaved, but now Bane speed's done. The mutas are coming back. He's going to try and envelop this army in the swarm. Fantastic pre-splitting, though, by the Marines of Clem. Holy sh**. He's got a big push coming over. Can he get the rest of the Banelings? One does connect with center mass, and the Lings trying to drag those mine shots. Reynor somehow, some way, with the latest Baneling speed timing for that push, manages to hold on to that fourth. Now more Marines are coming over. The mines blow up on Lings, so the mutas are still intact, but Jesus, what a push. What a defense from Reynor with how late his baneling speed was. I actually cannot believe that he did not take more damage there. He comes in, he grabs the Widow Mine that was promised. And now these Marines are going to have to stim back over. When you're stimming this many Marines and you only have 2 medevacs, you're in the doghouse. This is an incredibly difficult position to play from if you are Clem, despite the fact that he's got plenty of things going well for him. Oh man, how did he get supply blocked? Did a bunch of overlords? Oh, the overseers, I assume. I actually haven't really had time to stop and look at Reynor's base. He's just not getting the infestation pit. His +2 melee is only now just finishing, so he's getting a little power spike. How many mutas has he lost? Just 1? He's only lost 1 muta! Uh-oh. I'm about to curse him. No, he killed his own SCV. Ripping Alfredo, Fettuccine, Tortellini, Linguini. Okay. In the words of Artosis from the year 1999, this is so many banelings. The Lynx streaming through the Marines, trying to drag the mine shots across them so the Banes can get through. There's no creep, but he does not seem to care. He falls back to the planetary fortress, though, which does get a couple of nice hits off on those Banes. Thor trying to be evacuated by this medevac. He is doing everything he can to hold on to his base, but more and more banelings come pouring through into the base of Clem. He needs to raise that depot and try to get himself a stronghold, but I don't know that he has the time or the resources to make it happen. The income plummeting as that natural expansion gets blown to pieces. He does have the 4th. He has mules on it. It's the saving grace here for our Terran. He scans that bottom base. He sees 2 fully saturated expansions. Clem has to be asking himself whether or not it's time to leave the game. And as another wave of Lynx floods in, perhaps he's going to say yes. It is an elimination map if he taps out, so he's doing everything he can to stay alive. But the torrential downpour of Zergling blood raining into his eyes is blinding him to the truth that his death is inevitable. The 3rd base is going to be the new focus. He shifts back the Lings there, preventing anything from being able to get back between those bases to protect them. More mines do get the chance to burrow. He's killing a lot of the Mutalisks, but good God, if he finds a way to come back from this, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. This anchor base. Oh my God. This anchor base is the only reason I think Clem is still in this map. Holy crap. The natural and the 3rd got completely obliterated. And he still somehow, some way was able to get something to happen in this game. There's the drilling claws upgrade. He wants to shut that down. Oh, good bait with the overseer. I was going to say he did not have enough mutas to one-shot it. And he does still want to put this harass on, though. It's going to be still increasingly difficult for Clem to leave his base. And this planetary is everything right now, and it's gone. GG. Reynor is going to take the semifinal 3-1 and move on to the final match.